Thanks, Joe. I now wish I'd worn my ringworm t-shirt, but I haven't. Okay, let's go. I've struggled to find my 4 minutes for this event. I don't feel like a likely candidate for Broadly Speaking. I'm subject to melancholy, and it's fair to say I'm not much of a fan of the motivational speech. Strangely, for the past fortnight, I've been jotting down notes which, on rereading a couple of days ago, sound like a series of poorly rendered Hallmark cards that you might give to someone for a 21st or on their graduation. I'm the director here at Object Space. I have 3 children. It's a juggle that feels more mind-bending than the work itself. In the blinding chaos of holding things together, multitudes of small letdowns loom large. In the last fortnight alone, I have delivered my youngest child to creche on Teddy Bear Picnic Day without a teddy bear, my middle child to dress up day not dressed up, and I failed to remember my oldest son's not insignificant rock quest trials. My parenting is accompanied by my own inner monologue of judgment and grief for the minute failures of daily life. When I picked up my 4-year-old from creche, teddy bearless, I asked if he had been okay. Through a forced smile, he patted my arm and told me not to worry, as I kid you not, a single tear ran down his cheek. I realise that the latest fad of failure is the one that you lean into, that teaches you something triumphantly about yourself. We live in a world of self-improvement where the opportunity to change ourselves, better ourselves, create the perfect image of ourselves is so tantalising. It is redeeming to imagine that our stuff-ups and our misfires might catalyse our mindful enlightenment, awakening a quest within us for change. But the pendulum swing between failure and success contains the most tired of narrative arcs. Broken hearts are mended by eventual true love. Wayward younger years are rewarded with a steady job. The couch potato runs a marathon. It seems we talk about failure only in the course corrections it allows us. One way or another, the goal is always to be on a trajectory moving away from it. This is inadequate to me. I don't believe the redemptive narrative arc is the conqueror of failure. I don't believe in a world that looks like this. My career and my experience is a zigzag across mixed terrain. I had my first child pretty young and my youngest child pretty old. I'm part of a separated family and a nuclear family. I studied social work, then fine art, then business. I once owned a failing grocery store. For 3 years, I stood behind a counter 7 days a week, listening to people describe to me their plans for dinner and their food intolerances. Anyone who knows me knows I hate cooking and I am not a foodie. The life choices that led me to this decision are still baffling. I also once started a building apprenticeship. For 3 months before I quit, every lunchtime I walked 2 kilometres to the nearest supermarket to use the public toilet, in fear of what my fellow tradies would do to me if I entered the on-site portaloo. My biggest failures feel etched into my skin, but to seek a life of perpetual improvement that attempts to drive a wedge between that failure and me today is to make an impermeable judgment about what a good life looks like, to measure myself against what I currently am not. The body shape I don't currently occupy, the house I have not yet decorated, the sequence of perfectly timed progressions up the career ladder that will be markers of my own marvellousness. I've been at Object Space for almost 4 years. It has been 4 years of glorious successes. Everything this organisation has achieved has been hard won, fought for, championed. The last 4 years have been a monumental acceleration of that effort for this organisation. In 2016, a group of people took a series of extraordinary risks to enable this gallery to grow, and we have courted failure from day one. And I've come to realise that the spirit of this place, of the 6 women that run this place, is an openness to failure, to fuck up, to imperfection, that nothing is done right all the time, and that in this place there is incredible power and possibility. If I could make sure I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it at the end. If I could make sure that my children heard and understood just one piece of advice from me, it would be that your failure and your successes are yours and yours alone. You decide the measure of your own life. Let no one else... Damn it. Let no one else define your story. To see failure as a zig or a zag on an uncharted terrain seems more humanistic and a more realistic rendering than a point of polar opposite to where you would like to be. Yeah.